Electric Football Show, Week 11, and we're coming at you like Quentin Nelson. Oh. Anyway, Pack at Seahawks. Go, Stu.
All right, well, the Seattle Seahawks can run. You can't base what the Packers did against Miami as having a solid run game. Miami's horrible. But they can pass the ball. I just like Aaron Rodgers going in here. I know Seattle typically, wins at home over the last bunch of years here. I just got a sense that the Packers can out-finesse them on offense, taking Aaron and the Packers.
I get you, equivalent defenses, but last week I made the mistake of believing in Carolina on the road against the Steelers and was proven massively wrong. It's taken me a long time to learn this, but you don't take the road team on Thursday night, so I'm taking the Seahawks. Bengals at the Ravens, and there's all sorts of chaos and mayhem here. Flacco's hip, are we going to be going with Lamar Jackson? Speaking of Jacksons, there's Hugh Jackson. Will he be taking over the Bengals from Marvin Lewis after that?
Can you imagine? What are you thinking?
It does make you want. It's like when they, it's like when Tony Sparano, not Soprano, got a job, and you were going like, how does this happen?
I don't understand.
You got a guy that has the worst coaching record of all time, and you go, might want to put him in there. The theory is that he's the players like him, and B, he brings a lot more energy and life to the position than Marvin Lewis, who needs to be brought back to life before the game starts. But the Ravens have been a surprisingly disappointing team. Great defense, haven't been getting it done though, haven't been getting the wins. Bengals, if you look at it, they're 5-4. They're right there. They're right on the Steelers' heels, playing better than my opinion of them, if that makes sense. I don't think anyone thinks very highly of the Bengals, but if you watch them this year, they're better than you think, and they're on the verge of catching the Steelers. So I'm taking the Bengals.
I'm going the opposite way on here. I'm taking the Ravens. Much better defense than Cincinnati has. They did have the bye week to get better, and Cincinnati won the first matchup back in, I think it was September. So I don't love Andy Dalton. Flacco's injury is questionable, but I just think that defense can kind of rein them in. Is AJ Green playing?
I don't think so.
Oh, yeah, I think that's a huge minus for them. So I'm taking the Ravens.
But it's early on a Tuesday. We're drinking early on a Tuesday, people. Woo!
Someone has to.
Cowboys at Falcons, and I got to admit, I was impressed by the Cowboys last week. Mm-hmm. Zeke Elliott doing the move right now for players in the NFL is the leap over someone
until someone's dick gets ripped.
There is that worry. The old, my dick got ripped off on the third play of the game when I tried to hurdle somebody. Speaking of that, in warm-ups, they showed OBJ just go up to one of his teammates and just leapfrog him. And it's like, he just went over like a 6'2" wide receiver just on the deck. It's amazing the athleticism of these guys. So if the Cowboys are smart, they pound the ball to Zeke Elliott. Mm-hmm. They take an occasional deep throw to, what's his name, Gallup, guys like that. Stick it underneath to Beasley when you have to, and beat a Falcons team that are the Bird teams have been very disappointing this year.
Where have they gone?
Yeah, I really expected their firepower to carry them a lot further than it has. So I'm taking the Cowboys in a little bit of a road upset here.
Yeah, the Falcons have like a bottom-ranked defense. What's their identity anymore? They don't have the run game that they used to have. Matt Ryan, again, had that star ascending. Now he's sort of just plateaued, and he's I'm sure his stats are fine. But to me, this game is a coin flip. I'm taking Dallas. They're just going to run all day. Falcons can't stop the run. Their run defense is horrible. Taking the Cowboys.
Yeah, there's an easy path to victory here. Jason Garrett will figure out a way to fuck it up. Bucks at Giants. And how do you pass for like 700 yards and score 3 points?
How do they have the number one offense? In the NFL listings, Bucks have the number one offense.
Because it doesn't factor in things like,
I'm down 100.
It doesn't factor in things like, bad turnovers in the red zone, and it doesn't factor in things like timely third down pickups. Like if you just look, stats can be, the old Mark Twain line, there's 3 kinds of lies, damn lies, and statistics. You can take them and you can maul them. The Bills have the best defense, I think, statistically. Do you believe that? Like, are you like, wow, the Bills are going to win this week because of their defense? The Bucks prove that you can put up great numbers and still not be a good team.
Yeah.
Giants impressed me again last night a little bit in that their offensive line play was better. Will Hernandez got a late, illegal procedure kind of thing that could have cost them, but overall their line gave Eli time. He hit OBJ on a couple of touchdown passes. Could have had him on one of the most spectacular catches you ever seen. That was very close to better than his one-handed, catch. So I like the Giants here. I think the Giants are going to put a little bit of a run together here.
Yeah, me too. I think Ingram got a little involved late in the game. It seemed like they stepped up late in the game. Shepard, Barkley certainly had a hell of a game yesterday. I mean, he is just slippery and slidey and
strong too.
Yeah.
Like it's not all juice. He can run into you.
And I loved on the first touchdown that Eli was down there like congratulating everybody too. He didn't do his walk off the field. They were genuinely excited to score a touchdown. I think
he's all shocked.
Yeah, all darn. He was in the group hugging each other at the end of that touchdown. I just think the Giants might have found something yesterday. Buccaneers, I can't select them all year long, so let's take the Giants here.
There we go. Steelers at Jags, and I think the Jags really left their soul on the field when they lost to the Colts last week. Talk about disappointing teams. You looked at this team and you listened to Jalen Ramsey and you went, okay, these guys are championship level team like they were last year, and that just has not happened this year.
Nope.
Even getting Fournette back and him having a good game did not carry them over the Colts, which surprises the hell out of me. I'm not going to lie. Last week was a crappy week of football, but there were some really impressive upsets, I thought, and the Colts being, perhaps the top of that. So Steelers, I considered an upset. They ran all over Carolina, and I'm impressed by what they're doing right now. Division leaders, they need this game badly to stay in front of the Bengals. I'm taking the Steelers on the road.
Yeah, they're clicking on all cylinders. I mean, that was fairly evident last week. And the Jaguars are falling apart all over the place. Bortles is not your guy. I mean, is it time to throw somebody else in? Who the hell's still there? Chad Henne, maybe? I wouldn't put him in, but they need to fix that for next year because they've got all the talent in the world. So this is either coaching or giving up because I can't tell the difference right now.
It could be both, actually. Young teams have a tendency, especially young teams that are talking a lot of junk and have very high expectations from last year. When they get those couple of bad losses in a row, it can go south real quick, and that's what I think is happening.
Yeah, I think the Steelers romp here. That's my pick.
All right, Texans at Washington, and this is a great matchup. Both teams leading the division, but the Texans are on a 6-game winning streak. They're ridiculously hot, and if you look back at the Skins, at the Washington.
Oh, I love.
I didn't say red. If you look back at Washington's wins, they're not that impressive. They were coming against teams that either are not very good or were not very good at the time that they beat them. So I'm taking the Texans on the road. I'm going with a lot of road teams here, which is probably a mistake, but I'm taking the Texans on the road.
Yeah, I don't have a clue as to how to pick Washington this year. They literally lose when I pick them and win when I don't. And, both teams are 6-3. So it's a really good matchup, TV-wise. I don't know who's going to watch it other than Texans and Redskins fans. But I'm just taking the home team here because I think they're evenly matched, and Washington can keep up with them. I don't think the Texans are as dynamic as they were in the past. I don't know. They just aren't as electric as they were with the hot start last year with
Watson's been off a little bit compared to last year, but he's coming back from injury.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, no, I'm not saying he's bad. I'm just saying they're not that team you fear offensively. And you know what? Maybe it's crappy weather on Sunday. I'll take the Redskins.
Yeah, the Washington is not a team built for the future, though. I mean, you got Alex Smith, you got Adrian Peterson, you got Ryan Kerrigan, you got a lot of guys at the end of their run.
Yeah, they all live in assisted living together.
Nice. So if they're going to do something, now is the time.
Yeah.
I would argue with you that the NFC East right now is the worst division in football, or very close to it, and that's weird because you got the Eagles that were the champions, but man, they have just
they were a one-hit wonder
so far.
They're so pedestrian this year.
I really expected them to blow out the Cowboys, and it did not happen. Titans at Colts, and both teams come off of massive victories. The Patriots would never lose if Bill Belichick didn't have to go against ex-players slash ex-coaches.
Really.
But, Titans defense put on a real show, and this is really Titans defense versus Colts offense. The Colts offensive line, not only with Nelson, but who is the center? I can't remember the center's name off the top of my head. They've really improved that offensive line. They've really come on offensively. They give up. It's weird. Like the Colts have scored about 100 more than the Titans and have given up about 100 more than the Titans. So if you expect this to be a low-scoring game, you go Titans. If you expect it to be a little bit more of a track meet, you go Colts. At home for the Colts, I think it's going to be a little bit more of a track meet, and I am taking Luck and the Colts to win this one.
Yeah, I'm liking the way that Indianapolis is playing now. Luck looks completely healthy. You're right. The offensive line is keeping him clean. The Titans' defense is better than the Colts' defense, but again, I think they have a mediocre offense. Derrick Henry should be running all over the place for Tennessee, and he's just not getting the yardage that I would have expected from. I mean, he is a big guy.
Oh, at Alabama, when he went against Clemson, he scared the shit.
Yeah, I mean, when I saw him standing next to offensive linemen, he's as tall as those guys. I mean, he's a big son of a bitch, but he's not running. He seems to run outside a lot more, and I'd like to see him running inside. But I'm taking the Colts. I just think they've got a little karma going. They're not great, and I think they're just having fun right now because they're playing well. I'm taking the Colts.
Panthers at Lions, 6-3 versus 3-6. This one's pretty easy. I think the Panthers win this one going away. I think they have a long week. I think the Lions are recovering from a beating by the Bears, a physical beating by the Bears. And I think the Lions, they're looking at Matt Patricia going, "You're a brain surgeon. You're a rocket scientist. Come on, give us something." Matthew Stafford is going to have like a Phillip Rivers-like career where you go like, he's good enough that he could have won. He's better than a lot of guys that do win, but it looks like we're getting to the point where he's just not going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
It's looking like the end is coming for some of these guys like Rivers and Stafford. And Stafford's got to be looking at it going, we are trending in the wrong damn direction.
And then that's usually what they do around this time of year in November. They typically...
Well, they started early this year.
Yeah, I mean, with Thanksgiving coming up, you typically think they're going to win, and I don't know that would be the case this year. I like the Panthers, too. I think McCaffrey runs all over them the way he did the other day. I just think McCaffrey is fun to watch, and Panthers' defense is so much better than the Lions. I don't see this being much of a game.
McCaffrey's really that little, he's like a little wide receiver that just starts in the backfield. Though he hasn't ripped off those explosive runs like he did at Stanford, and he's certainly not, he's not really big enough that you want him in there pass protecting too much or running through the tackles. But yeah, he is a fun player. He's a versatile player and finds ways to take advantage of his matchups.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Broncos at Chargers and a 6-game win streak. The Broncos are fading.
Under the radar.
Case Keenum, yeah, I know. Well, but their fans don't even come out to see him, but they're on a 6-game win streak. They do have Melvin Gordon is a guy. You want to talk about under the radar, talented back that because of a slow start due to injuries and stuff like that, maybe doesn't get the credit he should. The Case Keenum magic just isn't there this year.
Yeah.
What the Broncos' coaching job may be up, and who's going to want that? Like, who's going to want to have Elway looking over their shoulder?
Calling every shot. What's the point?
And go like, yeah, we keep failing with quarterbacks.
Oh, I know who. Jason Garrett, because he likes to do that.
Okay. Yeah. Jason Garrett's like a pup. I've got no strings on me. It's like Pinocchio.
Yeah.
Anyway, Chargers easy.
Yeah, the Raiders are so dead in the water.
Raiders, Broncos, Chargers.
Oh, sorry, Broncos. Sorry, wrong. Oh, that's next. Sorry.
Yes.
Like I said, the Chargers are so underrated. We're on the East Coast. You don't hear about them, and I looked at their record today. I'm like, holy crap.
Yeah, holy crap.
They're playing after my 4th drink, so I'm really not paying attention. But it's the first meeting of the season for these two teams. A lot of that's happening now. There was a lot of late divisional games that they're going to meet each other over the next 5 weeks, which surprised me. I just think it's a lot of Rivers and it's a lot of winning, and It's the Chargers.
If talking about
As
scheduling,
long as
though,
the stadium's still there on Sunday.
that's a great way to do it. Because hopefully you have those divisional playoff implication games and rivalries late in the season. Rah, Raiders at Cardinals. Oh my God, this is a bad.
And with
game.
the first pick of the draft, the Raiders select.
Yeah, they select a coach.
Yeah.
They should pick Nick Saban with their first pick. Anyway, if you're the Cardinals, it's simple. You develop Rosen, you give the ball to David Johnson, and you try and get him a 100-yard game, which I don't think he's had so far this year. I think he came up just short last week. When you have to throw it, you throw it to Larry Fitzgerald, and you beat a Raiders team so that the Raiders can have the first pick.
They're packing. They're packing it in for the season.
Yeah, they've packed it in on Gruden. Everybody except for Mark Davis has packed it in on Gruden.
Yeah, I mean, on paper, they're both the same here. I don't think the Cardinals are more talented. I just think they're playing more inspired, and I think they win.
Yeah, the effort is still there for the Cardinals.
Mm-hmm.
Eagles at Saints, and oh my God, you would have thought this would be a great game, but it no longer is. The Saints are one of the three best teams in football. The Eagles could have come out last week and proven to me that they were going to make a late run, which I thought they would, and they did not. One of those surprising statistics, the Saints give up the fewest rushing yards, which you wouldn't think. The Eagles, not having what you would call a stellar set of backs, are going to be forced to throw the ball against the Saints. Now, the Saints do give up a lot.
Oh, they give up almost as many as they score.
But you turn this into a track meet, and you got to Michael Thomas over Alshon Jeffries. Zach Ertz is playing amazing, but Kamara and Ingram give the Saints a running game so that they can balance this thing out. Plus the versatility of Kamara, and I take the Saints at home in a romp. The Saints, amazingly, they start every season poorly, but this season they've really turned it on quickly.
I think they're playing the best of any team in the NFL and have been doing so week after week after week.
Your argument right now is three teams, right? It's the Saints, the Rams, and the Chiefs. And you can make an argument, you can juggle those three teams. And then it falls off pretty steeply.
Everyone else is 5-5 or so.
Well, you've got, what would you say, the Steelers, New England. I can't throw the Bears in there yet.
No.
So there's really, it's three teams for who's the best, and that's what the comment section is for. So please, give your argument for Chiefs, give your argument for Saints, give your argument for the Rams, or tell me I'm missing somebody. I'm sorry, Stu.
I don't think you're missing anybody. No, I think the Saints are just en fuego. I think they're, power ranking, they're number one this week, and they should be. They are taking care of business on offense. Not a great defense, but they do enough. It's how they won the championship last time. They didn't have a great defense then, but because you have Breeze, who just looks like he's 25 years old right now. God bless him. He's fantastic. So much fun to watch. I don't think this is even close.
Oh, I hope Breeze takes the MVP trophy this year. I would love to see
who's
that.
Who's playing bet? Well, Mahomes maybe.
Yeah, Mahomes definitely
be the argument, or God. Well,
nah. Right now, it's probably Mahomes then Breeze.
Yeah.
But if the Chiefs get knocked out, or
like
lose
they usually do,
or lose a couple games late, it could be Breeze, and that would be a wonderful thing to see.
Yeah.
Vikings at Bears, and I hate to say this, but Mitch Trubisky. First off, I hate to say this, my kid owns a Mitch Trubisky jersey. 19 TDs, 7 interceptions, 340, 350 yards rushing. He's doing it with his arm. He's doing it with his leg.
Yeah,
He's showing them. He's showing the maturation that you would expect from such a high draft pick. And oh my God, Khalil Mack's sack against the Lions. He goes by Levine Tuliolo, whatever, who's got 20 pounds on him and 4 inches, and then he literally has 2 steps before he hits Decker. Decker is not a scrub, and he knocks Decker on his ass, reaches down, pulls out his heart, eats it, turns around, shits the heart out on Decker, then jumps and gets Stafford like Batman style and takes him down, then goes back and laughs in Decker's face like Decker's still down. It was a Reggie White-like move. It was a prime J.J. Watt-like move. There are very few defensive players where you get to see something and you jump out of the chair and go, holy crap. And that play was as good a defensive play as you're ever going to see. He's hitting the guy. He's 6'3", 252. He's hitting a guy 6'8", 311. So he's giving up 60 pounds. He's only got a step or two to do it, but he gets the leverage under him and just steals his soul. It was amazing. So yeah, I mean, honest to God, if Mac did not have some injury problems earlier, if you look at his line, defensive MVP comes down to Mac or Donald.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just that simple. There are other great players out there, but those two guys are doing things on defense that you just go, I can't believe I saw that.
Yeah.
So this is really the game for the division, unless there's a late season collapse by the Bears. The Vikings have to go on the road and show that they can actually be the team I thought they were going to be this year. It's nice to have Dalvin Cook back, but I don't see us winning this game. I see Cousins getting sacked 3 or 4 times.
Mm-hmm.
I see us making the stupid late turnover, probably a strip sack from Mac, and I see the Bears taking this game, running the ball. They basically 3-headed running attack with Trubisky. It's killing me, but I'm taking the Bears.
Yeah, I questioned a friend of mine earlier in the season. I'm like, what do you think of Trubisky? And he said, no, I think he's coming to his own. And I was like, yeah, but you know what? Over the last 4 games, he is coming into his own. He's looking a lot more comfortable, a lot more confident. He's accurate as hell. He's got the long ball. And he's got a pretty decent team around him, and I don't see...
He doesn't have the most skilled wide receivers you're ever going to run across, and he's doing it.
But he's getting the ball to them, and they're catching it. And your Vikings, I don't know what happened. They just kind of laid an egg this year, surprisingly.
Which is weird, because Cousins has been good. He's been accurate. Thielen is now, 3rd in the NFL in yards, but he's right there near the top in yards. Hunter is 2nd in sacks. Like, we're having good individual seasons, but not a good team season, which is weird.
Yeah. So I'm taking the Bears.
We both are. Chiefs, Rams at Mexico. Go
Maybe.
Oh, because of the field conditions?
The field conditions. I was just reading they're considering moving the game, but where are they going to go? The wildfires?
Don't you have like a week? Can't you fix a field in a week?
Well, they'd have to lay down a whole new surface. I mean, the way that they're talking is they're going to literally rip it out and put down a new surface. And how do you move that game?
You're the NFL. You can't get a field fixed in a week.
Well, they got the caravan coming, so they're busy.
Oh, come on. Come on.
I think this is the Super Bowl preview, honestly. As much as I like the Saints, I think the Rams, who don't have the tiebreaker right now, but I think in their division they have a better chance of getting the home field advantage throughout the playoffs. And the Chiefs, I mean, this is 2 teams that are exactly alike. They both got gunslinger quarterbacks, great running backs, ridiculous receivers, and pretty decent defenses. I think the Rams defense I would rank higher than Kansas City's.
I would too.
But I don't know. Gut feeling from a sign from my dad, who was a Chiefs fan. I am taking the Chiefs here.
Your dad was a Chiefs fan.
It blew me away.
How'd you end up a Dolphins fan?
The whole time he was alive, because Flipper was on TV when I was little. The whole time he was alive, he kept saying, I like the Chiefs. And I was like, nah, you're a Dolphin fan. When he passed away, I opened his wallet to get his identification out. There's a Kansas City Chiefs credit card. I'm like, son of a bitch was a Chiefs fan.
Son of a bitch. I can't believe... Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was weird.
Sorry. My dad liked figure skating and boxing and wanted to combine the 2 into figure boxing.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Would have been awesome.
That would be cool.
Peggy Fleming out there like, sow cow, right hook. Except I threw an uppercut. Anyway, this is a coin flip. It'll be interesting to see how it goes over in Mexico City. They're saying this is the second best Monday night matchup record-wise ever. There was one where their 2 teams were 10-1.
Really?
I think Giants might have been involved in that. But yeah, you got 1-loss teams late in the season going against each other. 2 of the 3 that are in the the best. I like the Rams. But I think Seattle showed that you can run against them, and that may
one
be
thing KC can do.
Yeah, well, Hunt hasn't had that great of a season as far as the running goes. You were talking about you match him up. Is Kupp injured? I believe
he's out for the season.
I believe he is out for the season. So there you go. I saw him go down, but I didn't know what the actual prognosis was. So that's a huge blow to the Rams. And you're looking for little itty bitty differences here. The Chiefs have a much better tight end. The Chiefs have some versatility. Right now, you got to put Mahomes is playing slightly better than Goff. I like Gurley on the ground as a late in the game pound
I
it
think
kind of
Mahomes
guy.
is playing. I think he's throwing more because Goff can hand it off to Gurley all day long.
Right.
I think that's the only difference between the two. Mahomes has to throw more.
Yeah, but Mahomes probably right now, especially with Cup down, has the better weapons, and more team speed. The Rams' defensive line is as good as you're ever going to
It's going
see.
to be fun to watch the big boys.
It's a great game. It's a coin flip. I'm going to go with the Chiefs because I think this one comes down to who can score that late touchdown, and I don't know how you stop Hill and Kelsey.
And
Just a number of weapons, and remarkably, all those weapons staying healthy so far. I mean, if Mahomes goes down, you can just goodbye. See you so long.
Watch this be a 6-3 game.
Yeah, right.
The whole world's going to watch this game that follows football.
Well, I'll tell you. I mean, Chiefs slightly better on offense. Rams slightly better on defense. Fun game. Best game of the season.
So
Why
fun.
the hell is it in Mexico if we have this great game?
Honestly.
When are they going to play NFL Iceland?
This
Because that's
international
coming.
shit drives me crazy.
Coming soon. So we hate Thursday night. We hate the international games. We hate the NFL.com network, website, which you go there on a Sunday and you do not see that they used to have the scores as a banner. You don't even see the scores.
Yep.
They just want to send you the video of one game.
Yep.
What the hell?
It's awful.
I'm watching my kid's soccer game. I just want to see who's winning the damn games. Ah!
Ah!
Love you.
Week
Electric
11.
football.
Comment. Bye.